Interpreting Japanese treasure codes and signs. As a treasure hunter who is searching for the hidden Yamashita treasure, it is actually a huge help if you can properly interpret the codes, signs, or markers left behind by the Japanese Imperial Army as clues to the whereabouts of their hidden treasures. Some treasure hunters who are quite good at interpreting Japanese treasure signs doesn't really even need to use metal detectors. You have to know that most metal detectors today still have the issue of dealing with noises or interferences on the ground, particularly ground mineralization. Thus, metal detectors can be unreliable depending on the type of ground area that you are using it. And unfortunately, the most common type of ground in the Philippines is high in mineral contents. This is the main reason why most metal detectors is not suitable for treasure hunting in the Philippines. So, to all amateur treasure hunters in the Philippines who are going after the Yamashita treasures, it is best to invest some of your time learning how to interpret the Japanese Imperial Army treasure codes and signs. Let me share you one of my story about a group of amateur treasure hunters who should have recovered their own Yamashita treasure. At first, they discovered an interesting sign on the ground surface of a certain site. Without the knowledge of being able to interpret the sign, they simply decided to dig on that spot. They first correctly guessed the meaning of the sign, so they dug and uncovered more strange objects, which were markers and signs. Since they still do not have any idea about what they mean, they simply continued digging down until, to the depth, that they finally gave up. The reason why they gave up was that they were suddenly dealing with a hard layer of rocks. This layer was already the bedrock, which is a natural layer of the ground. When you hit this kind of layer, it means that you should already stop because you probably went the wrong way. When me and my team decided to continue their operation, we noticed that there was a sign on the corner indicating about a change in direction. So instead of going down, we went sideways on the corner, as indicated by the sign. As a result, we uncovered more markers and signs that gave us the correct directions. How do you exactly interpret a Yamashita treasure sign? Let's have an example. Let's say that you found an X sign that is engraved on the surface of a large rock. The first step that you need to do is to examine the X sign if it is man-made or natural. This topic has already been covered on the previous video, so I suggest watching it in case you still haven't. When it comes to the Yamashita treasure, an X symbol is a very good sign, which confirms that the site or area is positive, meaning there is a hidden deposit on that place. However, it does not literally mean that the spot where the item is hidden is right under the X sign. In most cases, an X sign is always accompanied by another sign. So, let's say that you discovered an arrow sign engraved on an old tree, just a few feet away from the X sign. Now, this arrow sign is pointing directly to the X sign. On this case, the arrow sign is a confirmation that the item is hidden under the X marker. What if the arrow sign is pointing to a different direction? Okay, let's say that the arrow sign is pointing to another old tree nearby. Although, this another old tree does not have any marker or engraved signs on it. On this case, the deposit is hidden under this old tree. If this is quite a large size old tree, then the item could also be hidden inside it itself. But what if the other old tree has a sign on it? Depending on the succeeding sign that you found, dictates what you need to do next. Thus, interpreting Yamashita treasure signs is like following an instruction. Anyway, if you have any questions with regards to this topic, then feel free to ask them on the comment form below. Moreover, have you enjoyed watching this video? If your answer is yes, and you are new to my channel, then you may want to subscribe and hit the like button. You are also free to share to your friends, or to someone who may find it helpful. If you prefer a reading material about treasure hunting, then I recommend visiting my blogging website at treasurehunt.club. Thank you very much for watching, and happy treasure hunting.